Since taking office, my administration has focused on 5 key principles which I believe are essential in good government. These principles are fiscal responsibility, managing your money; accountability, making sure that decisions are made in open and that your government is accessible and available to all people; preserving Stamford's high quality of life, high quality of living, which makes our city a great place to live and work; to cultivate prosperity by helping existing businesses grow and new ones start; and finally, ensuring our future through sustainability. We have accomplished a tremendous amount in the last year, and let me share some of those accomplishments with you. Fiscally, the city of Stamford is exceptionally sound. Stamford is in an enviable position for many reasons. We have proactively addressed our pension obligations and achieved what pension experts would say is the gold standard, with funding of all of our pensions at better than 90%. We are only one of 13 cities in the entire United States of America with a AA, AAA bond rating. This rating allows us to borrow at favorable rates, such as the 2.65%. Our tax collection is at an incredible 92.6%, which is more money than what we need to run the city. And as you know, we're in the midst of a budget process, and I hear it, and you probably hear it. Why can't we keep our taxes to zero? Why do we have to have a tax increase? This slide shows you 100 pennies. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to go through the budget process, and I'm going to deputize all of you and ask you to figure out ways that we can get our budget to zero, a zero increase. So let's start with education. Education accounts for 49 cents, or 49% of the entire city of Stamford budget. The mayor, you have no control over either the budget or how it's spent. But if you could, how would you reduce costs in education without reducing quality education? In public safety, health, and welfare, this accounts for 24 cents. The question you need to ask is, how do we reduce that budget without jeopardizing our safe city status? Our debt service is 9 cents of every dollar, and that is to pay principal and interest on the money that we borrow to maintain and improve our infrastructure. And we can't do anything to jeopardize that. The cost of city employee and retiree benefits accounts for 7 cents. Core services accounts for 4 cents. And any way to cut that is very daunting. Do we decrease garbage pickup? Do we eliminate leaf pickup? Do we stop filling potholes, or do we stop plowing streets in the winter? I don't think so. And our cultural institutions, many of those leaders are here with us today. Only 2 cents of the city dollar goes towards supporting our cultural institutions, and the only way to save money in this category would be to either curtail funding to them or cut them back seriously. And I don't think we're going to do that either. So this leaves, if you notice on your table, there's 5 pennies. Those are the discretionary 5 pennies that you can use to decide how we cut the budget. However, keep in mind that those 5 pennies are used to maintain our parks and beaches, manage our finances, inspect our buildings, provide other city services, and as we've seen in every budget discussion, one person's cut is another person's vital service. We're committed to making every penny of the tax dollar work as efficiently and effectively as possible. Now, we've talked about fiscal responsibility and operating expenses. We also have fiscal responsibility in how we spend our capital dollars. For example, let's visit Scalzi Park. Here, the city spent $1.3 million to completely renovate the park, and we did so on time and on budget. The improvements included the addition of a splash pad, a picnic pavilion, a walking path, and beautiful new trees and plantings that were provided by volunteers. Please visit Boyle Stadium. We've completely returfed Robustelli Field, refurbished the stone bleachers on the visitor side of Boyle Stadium, and we installed a new synthetic track completely around it. We completely redecked and restored the 100-year-old bridge at Cold Spring Road, which travels over the Ripawam River, and that bridge will reopen in about a month to serve the city for the next century. Now let's go to the second principle, accountability. We've streamlined the building permit process. We've increased WPCA collections and lien process. We've generated an additional $1 million in revenue for the WPCA. We've improved the admissions and collections at Smith House, and we've implemented the SNAP program throughout for medical school records, and we've developed key performance standards to measure the effectiveness of your government. Quality of life is our third principle, and that makes Stamford the desirable place to live and work. Now this one slide probably sums up best quality of life in our city. According to the latest FBI statistics, Stamford ranks the 9th safest city in all of America. I'm not looking for applause, but let me repeat that. It is one of the top 10 safest cities in the United States of America. And let me tell you how they've done it. Our police department has developed remarkable capabilities just in the last 2 years. They've expanded the bomb squad, expanded undercover operations, developed a special response team. Canine units have grown. We even have a bloodhound, Cleo. A hostage negotiation team and other specialized units all work very hard against crime in the city of Stamford. And that is a credit to Chief Nivikoff, his leadership, his administration, and all the men and women of the Stamford Police Department. And just as our police department works hard to keep our city safe, so do all of our firefighters. Thanks to Chief Conti for all of his efforts in training and promoting fire safety throughout the city of Stamford, throughout Stamford Fire and Rescue ranks, and all of the volunteer departments. He and his firefighters recently took their battle to the halls of Hartford and fought for legislation that would require all homes in Connecticut to have carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. And much has been written and said about my proposed fire plan, which is currently awaiting the Board of Reps approval. Fragmented fire service was a problem when I entered office. And after months of working and thorough analysis, measures were recommended to ensure consistent fire service throughout the city within the confines of what we had to work with. So now I urge the Board of Representatives to move forward and hold their public hearings, gather any additional information that they may need, and improve fire service throughout all areas of the city. Our health department works throughout the city as well to keep our citizens healthy. Under the talented leadership of Ann Fountain, the department performs important programs like well water testing, restaurant inspections, vaccination programs, social services, clinics, health fairs, and wellness activities. And in the past year, we've made improvements at our beaches at Cabetta Stadium and in Cummings Park, Cove Island, Dorothy Heroy Park, and many, many others. And creative public-private partnerships are what will make the Mill River the spectacular park that it will soon be. Our fourth principle, prosperity, funds all the wonderful things that we enjoy in our city. We've increased our grand list by over $250 million this year. Stamford is the only city in Connecticut to have its grand list increase. This growth reduced the proposed tax increase by more than 30%. And our unemployment consistently ranks below state and federal levels. As you can see on this slide, commercial expansion continues in Stamford across multiple sectors, and there's more to come. Let's take a look at how the city prospered over the past 2 years. First, let's visit the Clairol site. What's the difference? This fall, NBC will open a new $100 million facility employing more than 750 people. And right next door, in just a month or two, Chelsea Piers will open its door to the most exciting sports complex in New England. Let's go to the south end. You're looking at what was a brownfield 2 years ago, and this is what it looks like today with commercial buildings, residential buildings. Let's look at the shoreline and the boardwalk, what it looked like 2 years ago. And this is what it looks like today. Over the last 2 years, downtown Stamford has also experienced impressive growth. The Canaan Lofts will be opening soon. Westwood Charter Oaks' newest residential community recently opened, and the Boulevard. And there are more changes that are underway with developments at the former Advocate site on Tresser Boulevard and Park Square West. Stamford Hospital has aggressively moved up its schedule for its $450 million expansion and renovation from 2 phases to 1 phase, and from 10 to 15 years to 5 years. But our prosperity is more than just buildings. The Innovation Center has had a startup in April, and Sikorsky Innovations will soon be moving in this month. The city created the Small Business Advantage series with workshops on marketing and business planning for small businesses. And this is the second year of the Mayor's Youth Summer Employment Program. And last year, through the help of many in this room, we were able to hire 30 young people from the city of Stamford, train them, get them into productive jobs, let them make some money and see what it's like to earn money. This year, we want to do the same thing for 60 students, and we need your support again this year as well. You'll be hearing from us shortly, and probably you'll be hearing from me asking you to participate in the program. Now, educating our children properly and preparing them to be productive and contributing members of society is of paramount importance to their future and to ours. Let's touch a few accomplishments from our schools. The Schofield Magnet School was recently awarded another $100,000 grant from HP Corporation for its innovation in water quality testing, and they are partnering with sister schools in Peru and in China. Last year, more than 1,000 of our students scored well enough on their AP exams to qualify for college credits. Our students enroll in early college experience programs with UConn, the University of New Haven, and Norwalk Community. And the class of 2012 was accepted in some of the nation's most prestigious and competitive universities. Turning to the fifth principle, which is sustainability, we engineered remediation at the Schofield Town landfill, which includes an environmentally proven capping system and continuous groundwater monitoring. Upon completion, that area will be transformed from a waste site and a 50-year-old problem into a recreational amenity. Our recycling volume has increased from 12 to 25% in this past year, and we've generated over $100,000 in additional revenues by increasing recycling. We replaced more than 1,000 streetlights and installed LED traffic controls throughout the city of Stamford. This resulted in a 23% reduction in the city's overall energy use cost. We've installed 4 electric vehicle charging stations in our garages. Now, our work in 2011 was not focused in one area or in one neighborhood alone. Over the past year, we've worked in all sectors and all neighborhoods of the city. Some are in specific locations, and some are initiatives shown in blue on this slide. But together, they represent an impressive list of accomplishments. Going forward, we want to keep our principles at the forefront. Again, these are the goals and principles that I believe are good government. However, something is missing from the equation, and I think it's missing from the equation nationwide. And sadly, that's civility. The absence of civility is debilitating, and our country and our city deserve more. So let's look to the future. My administration's goals in this coming year. We'll continue to work on key capital projects like the $10.5 million Tiger 3 grant, which will make significant improvements at the Transportation Center. We will start building the Stamford Urban Transitway, Phase 2. Funding is in place, and the state process has already begun to build a new state transportation center parking garage at the Station Transportation Center. And one of my favorites is we're developing a high-speed ferry link that will connect the city of Stamford to New York and Long Island and other parts as well as that mode of transportation develops. In addition, over the next year, we'll address the long-term structural costs of the city, and we'll continue to strengthen our credit rating. Now here's another good one. We are working on and will very shortly be implementing a 311 system, which will be a phone and web-based system that will provide residents and businesses with direct access to city government. Using the 311 system, citizens will make service requests and find answers that they need through this very elaborate system. We will be launching an employee hotline to address any employee complaints or concerns. We will continue our efforts to improve local government by reinstituting an ethics training program for all employees. And we'll work to redesign the City of Stamford's website, making it more informational and interactive. We're going to continue our business creation, our business attraction, and our business expansion efforts. Maintaining our top safe city rating through proactive policing is critical. Our fire plan. Enough said, let's make consistent fire service throughout the city a top priority. We want to complete Phase 1 of the Mill River, and on August 25th, the city, in collaboration with other organizations and community agencies, will be conducting an event called Hands for Life. We will be training, hopefully, 10,000 people in the technique of hands-only CPR. In September, on the 21st through the 23rd, Stamford Lights Festival weekend will have a weekend full of different activities throughout Stamford's neighborhoods, and it'll culminate with the lighting of the train station and a new illumination developed by an award-winning artist. In the next year, we will continue to install additional street lighting and traffic controls that are energy efficient. We're going to increase our recycling rate beyond 25%. And we're working with CL&P, the Bartlett Arboretum, and private arborists to develop a model program for identifying trees that need to be dealt with, trimmed, taken down, replaced, whatever, in anticipation of future storms in the effort of minimizing power disruption throughout the city. Now, I've mentioned that civility was important to me, so we're going to do something about it. This fall, we will be hosting, the City of Stamford will be hosting a civility symposium that will be designed to engage people from the different worlds of business, sports, entertainment, education, the media, and politics. We will be having well-known speakers, internationally known speakers, speaking on the subject of civility. You'll be hearing more about it, and hopefully you'll be joining us in September when the Civility Symposium begins. Before I close, I would like to thank two exceptional exceptionally talented students. They're architectural students from Norwalk Community College, and they're here today with their professor. Dominika Frankowicz, please stand, and Philippe Michaelkowski. And these two students are those students that were responsible for the computer imaging at the beginning of this address. And I fell in love with it when I saw it, and I thought it would be a great way to introduce the kind of innovation and the new direction that's taking place by the creative thinking of many of our young people throughout the city of Stamford. And those of you who are in real estate, I advise you to talk to these folks, because what they can do for you and your real estate programs and your real estate advertising is incredible. Okay. I also want to thank each and every one of you for coming here today and listening to me and hearing what this city is doing, how we're moving forward, and how we continue to exceed in many, many areas. Together, we've made Stamford a great place, an even better place to live and work. We're more financially sound, we're more fiscally responsible, we're more prosperous, we're more environmentally sustainable, and we're better positioned for the future. In short, business and citizens, government and nonprofits, institutions and dedicated individuals have all worked together to make Stamford the city that cares. One great city. Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure